Hello, my name's Jamie from Beacon Consultant Services. Thanks for tuning in to our 9th video on the A to Z of GDPR. Today we're going to be focusing on I for individual rights. There are 8 key rights that individuals can invoke under GDPR, and I'll go through those in a little bit of detail now. So the first is the right to be informed about the collection and the use of personal data, and this will generally be achieved through privacy notices and things like that. The right of access, so individuals are entitled to obtain a copy of the personal data that you process on them, and they would obtain this to understand why that data is being processed and to make sure it's being processed lawfully. The right to rectification, so this very much is what it says on the tin. Individuals have the right to have incomplete data completed or inaccurate data corrected. The right to erasure. So this isn't an absolute right. Individuals can invoke this, but it wouldn't be upheld in all circumstances, but they have the right to request that their data is erased. The right to restriction. So in certain circumstances, again, not an absolute right. Individuals can request that the personal data that's being processed is suppressed or restricted. And this may be, for example, that they're contesting the accuracy of the personal data, and while they're doing that, a restriction would be placed on the processing to check the accuracy, and then once verified, that restriction lifted. The right to portability, so individuals would have the right to have their data ported to them in a reusable format, and as part of this right as well, they can also request that that data is sent directly on to a third party. The right to object to processing, so again, not an absolute right, but individuals can object to certain types of processing that you carry out, particularly if this is based under a legitimate interest. And there are also rights in relation to automated decision making. So individuals have the right not to be subject to a decision based purely on automated processing if this produces a legal effect or a similarly significant effect. So those are the rights in a nutshell. In terms of timeframes, you have 1 calendar month to deal with these requests, and the ICO would say you should generally aim for about 28 days, as obviously each calendar month has a different amount of days. You can extend that period for 2 months if the requests are complex or there's a number of requests that come in from those individuals, but you have to inform those individuals if you do extend. Now, in terms of dealing with the requests, you need to make sure that any information or communication with those individuals is in a clear, concise and plain language so it's easy to understand. And you have the right to obtain further information from the individual to verify their identity if it's unclear who they are. Now, if you don't take action on the rights, then you have to inform the individual, and as part of that you also have to tell them that they have the right to complain to the Information Commissioner's Office or seek a judicial remedy. In terms of costs, dealing with individual rights need to be free. You can charge an administrative fee if you deem the rights to be the invoking of the right to be manifestly unfounded or repetitive in character, but it is down to you as an organisation to be able to demonstrate why it falls within that category, and therefore you've charged a fee. So those are the rights in a nutshell. Some of the other videos that we've done in this A to Z of GDPR will dive a little bit more into the complexities of some of these rights. But please join us for our next video, which will be on J for joint controllers. Thank you.